Hey everybody, thank you guys so much for coming to this training on Chat GPT. It sounds like I say B, but I'm truly saying Chat GPT. I'm like working on it. But I'm so thankful because Christina has been teaching me so much behind the scenes, and I'm constantly like bugging her and asking her, I'm like, wait, how do you do this? And like, because this is a whole new world, I feel like, for a lot of us. And so she was kind enough to offer to come on tonight. She was also in the mastermind. So she knows a little bit about she knows a lot about what we do. And I'm just so grateful to have you on tonight. So thank you.
Thank you for everything. Okay, so I am not an expert by any means. I just watch a lot of TikTok and, and just play around with it until I'm happy with it. So anyhow, the first thing that I did, I learned how to do was to have Chat GPT learn my style, tone, and voice. Because when they do that, it's a little bit more authentic than just like sound so AI robot-y that like other people are going to have the same, potentially the same information. So whenever you get it to know like who you are and your personality, as creepy that it sounds, it's going to give you better results. Another app that I use or website that I use is called Originality AI. And I put it in here somewhere. App.originality AI. And so what I do with that is whatever ChatGPT comes up with, if I want to make sure that it's not like AI sounding or plagiarized, and just more authentic, like a human actually wrote it, I copy the results and I paste it into the program, and it will tell me like what that is, like the amount of plagiarism or whatever. It's pretty awesome. I know a lot of people are concerned about that. And it does cost money. I think I was in there I was grandfathered into like the previous, it's like a pay as you go plan, but I think now it's like a monthly, I don't know. But anyways, so there it is a small fee. Okay, so with the basics, I like I said, learn your style, tone, and voice. I just ask it a question and tell them, like, introduce myself. So I just open up the Chat GPT and I'm like, hello, I'm a dating coach for plus size women. Let's figure this out. What do you need to know? It's like anytime you don't know what you want or how to like say it, you just ask GPT, what do you need? What do you need from me? It's fabulous. So step one, ask it questions and it tells you exactly what you need. So what do you need to learn my style, tone, and voice, and what other details will you need to accomplish this task? So it just gives me like all this stuff. It's like I need to know, your style and tone, blah, 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 blah. Like core messages, branding, all the things. So I answer the questions. Um, and oh, actually, this was way too long for me. So I asked it to output these questions in an easy to answer format. I was just like, that is a lot of reading for me. So, like, make it quick. So I did that. And for style and tone, this is definitely my recommendation for it to be like, to get to know you very well. Copy and paste a part of your original content, like an Instagram post or a blog or something. Copy and paste it into here, and then it will answer the questions. So I mean, it'll kind of figure you out. Let's see. So okay, so I asked it, read the below original copy to understand and describe my style, tone, and voice. So I had a little, post or however, and it's like, here, you're direct, engaging, and powerful, informative, candid, and supportive. And it gives me like a little summary. So I kind of use this, like I kind of cut and paste it, like whenever I need it to be a little bit more original stuff, I'll be like, hey, can you do it in this style, tone, and voice? So then I answered all the other questions. So this is my answer. I don't know if I'm going too fast or slow, but I mean it's just exactly what the prompts are over here. I just answer the questions to it. It's just a conversation. Like Like it's literally a chat room conversation, just if that's any easier. Like I don't want it to sound like it's overwhelming because sometimes it was for me. I didn't really understand it at first. And every single time I was asking it a question, I think I was going to make like a new chat. And that's not necessary. Like it's not necessary. So if you want to have multiple questions, it's just like you're in customer service, and like support like with United Airlines or something, So you just answer all the questions. And it's like, I asked it, do you understand this? Do you want anything else? And so it's like, no, we're good. So it summarized everything. This is my target audience. It's like, okay, I understand you.
And I
You
think
know,
I'm just glad that you provided these questions. I think that these are all just like in any event, it's just great to like be like, okay, who is my target audience? What is my brand?
exactly.
What is, and if you have any questions about any of these words, like what these kind of like mean to you and your business, feel free to reach out. Like, what are your metrics and goals? It's like, if you're like, I don't know what my metrics and goals are, feel free to reach out and like the wherever we like talk to each other, if it's in the Google Classroom or Slack, and be like, okay, Megs, I don't know what my metrics and goals are. And it's like, okay, I'll help you clarify them.
Yeah. And so, well, and I think it was one of the questions that I had. So I was like, right now I have a smaller audience. I'm trying to have that engagement. I would want to increase my email like list. So I said, hey, downloading my free offer will help increase that and encourage people to sign up. So that's kind of, other than selling coaching, my my main goal for now.
Absolutely.
So now basically all of this information that it just kind of condensed for you is like uh, Chat GPT is like, it's like your ICA like for Chat GPT to like understand basically. It's just in a more condensed form.
And I,
So then
oh
I
yeah.
have this prompt in here.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's important to do this like as a first prompt every time you create a chat, because I think it will be helpful. So it's, let's work together and come up with a good prompt, good results. And so we're going to communicate like this. I'm going to tell you my prompt. You're going to ask me for more details with 3 to 5 questions that are in easy to answer format. I'm going to answer your questions, and then you're going to act as a professional prompt engineer. You can ask it to act at like Oprah. So you like in the tone, voice style and tone of Oprah, write this post. Like you can ask it anybody since like 2021. I think it's the most updated version, and it will like no. So you can say like act as a online marketing expert and create this post. So you do that. So I copy and paste that as like my first conversations, and you ask it, okay, let's see. So if you fully understand the assignment, respond with how may I help you today? And so that's like, understanding the assignment. So I just think it's a really first great prompt. So I just strung it all along with all the other information. Again, copied and pasted it. And it did exactly what I asked it to. That was my prompt. Here's the questions and Chat GPT's answers, So it was so, and what was my question originally? Let me find out what I actually asked it to do. I think I asked it to give me examples of a few value wait, I don't know what I did. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask it value propositions. And I asked, it came up with like 10 of them, but I didn't really like them. So I copied and pasted what I liked to come up with something else. So anyways, do you have any questions so far? Because I know I'm just talking a lot.
Yeah. So I just wanted to like add, like when I've been doing this, like based on like, so I followed the first training that you had, and essentially I was like, hey, learn my style, tone, and voice.
Yeah.
And you know how you asked like 4 questions there? If you
Mhm.
guys are like on that level, it's like I feel free to do that. I've also just been like, hey, can you like I think we'll talk about it in a little bit, but like, can you give me some idea? Like it's like, can you give me some ideas? And like I'll just ask it one question and that can work too. Like this is purely for you. And one of the things that like and I got some questions from 200K that I will add to this training as well this past week. But the way I like to think about it is like this is like it's kind of like an idea generator. So it's like these are all just like ideas, like it like okay, going down just a smidge, or
Okay.
like having it's just like you get an idea about like what your ideal client is like looking for, and then you're able to like build off of it with your own voice a lot of the time too.
Right. So like for this one example, like I was saying, I copied and pasted that prompt and it's like, hey, I understand. How can I help you? And so my first initial prompt was, I'm a dating coach for plus size women. Create 3 ideas for reels for Instagram. And it gives you like scenes, like like first it's okay, like, okay, great, I understand. These are the 5 questions I want you to answer because you told me that you wanted me to ask for details. So I answered all those questions and it's like, thank you for giving me these details. Here are your 3 reels and like titles, descriptions. It's crazy. So then I say, can you write a script about number 1? So like what was number 1? Embrace your beautiful self, creating an irresistible profile. Um, so this is about creating a profile, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm not gonna like read it all. So here's the script. It tells you what you should have, what I should say, and what I should put on the screen. Um, and that was like scene 1. And then you change to all the it's really crazy and it just tells you exactly what you need to have. And I just think it's funny that it's like gives you scenes and tells you like now you need to put successful couples on there. Okay, now it's a picture. Now your place is on there. It's really deep. Like you show a series of happy couples, and while they're on there, you say, "See these amazing couples? They found love online, and you can too." Isn't that crazy?
It's so great. I've never done anything like this, but that's
Yeah,
so cool. It's like if you're like one of the things that like I feel about like a lot of the social media marketing is that it's like a lot of it's like kind of like you're broadcasting. It's more so about like you just like putting it up there, like, hey, this is my billboard. If you see it, come and get
yeah,
it. And so if marketing is like something that you're like, oh, I don't want to, it's like this is
yeah.
literally
Another level. Like I don't even know. Like every time I like it gives me something, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do it. Like this is a lot for me to learn.
I've
But
never done this, but I think it seems if
yeah,
that's your
but
thing.
it even gives you like a call to action. So
Yeah.
if you're ready to create an irresistible profile and find your perfect match, hit the follow button and let's do this together. Like, like it sounds so much better than me than my sentence like, hey, if you want more tips, follow me. It's just so much better. And then you're like crescendoing and decrescendoing. I mean, come on. Like
I just
so
like
then
it.
I asked it, can you give me some trending audio? And it didn't really give me too much, but it did give me one, because it's like very careful about what is it called? Copyright and usage rights. So it gave me one song. But yeah, like I can even ask the song for the background. It's just so cool. Like you can do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I have to save my cuss words for my groups.
Yeah.
So, okay, like I was saying before, so here was the prompt, right? The best first prompt to have. And then you just want to be really detailed giving information. So when you're like, hey, make an Instagram post, like you want to be more detailed than that because it's just going to give you an Instagram post. Say, include the call to actions, give me hashtags and emojis. suggested trending audio. Like those are just real, just a little extra, so a little bit extra work that that you don't have to do. Um, these are some prompt ideas that you can, like you said, it's questions. Like you just ask it questions. Like just consider it like it's tech support. Like, like that's the best way. Like once I started just being like, oh, it's going to be my tech support. I just need to ask it what I need and it'll give it to me. Like that made my brain like it made it go a lot easier. And like, I wasn't so like, oh my God, what is this? And, it didn't, you know what I mean? Like it took the temperature down a little bit. You're just asking it questions.
Exactly.
Um, Right. And it's going to give you what you want. So, like, it even knows like different kinds of framework. Use the STAR story solution framework to write a short video script. I mean, crazy. So, I got this from Brock Johnson, by the way, on, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
have my resources cited. So, we're cool. And then again, I asked ChatGPT, I asked, what are the best prompts for an entrepreneur so that you can create content? And it told me like this is exactly, so I gave it categories like I want all of this information and I need good prompts to ask you. Like what is the best thing to ask you for it? And it gave me 5 for each one. It's fabulous. And so, and you just go from there. You just ask it, you know what I mean? And I mean, since it knows that you're going to ask it these questions, it knows what it needs to say after, like a couple of details that you provided. So that's really it. But there's just so many things that you could do, more than just like write the post. Like they have, let's see, analytics and reporting. Like, it's just, it's pretty cool. Like they have SEO or optimization, like
Mhm.
how to do that, lead generations. So, how do I create customer centric culture? Like these are really, in my opinion, really good questions and
Just
different, like great categories that you could do. It's again more than just like write this post. You can ask it to write emails for you. What I like to do is I'll repurpose a lot of my work. So like I'll grab an Instagram post that I posted and then I throw it in Chat GPT and I'm like, hey, can you change this into Instagram post into an email for my email list? Thank you. And then it makes it personal.
and
Fabulous.
that's like I really do feel like a lot of marketing is going to shift to this in order to like if you're like thinking about like cranking out posts quickly. I also like to think about it like if you are like it's like I think about like marketing, like we're trying to write like an essay, almost not like an essay, but like just for the sake of this like analogy. So it's like you can write an essay without an outline, or you could have an outline and it can make it a little bit easier to pull from. So I'll share the things that I was just doing with and it was just like, and I'll give you guys these questions. Um actually, hold on. It was like because I said to clear my cookies. So it's like, wait, who are you? And I'm like, wait, you know me. Um,
Yeah, but like what you're saying with the outlines, I mean, I'll ask it, can you create a marketing calendar for me? And it comes up with a outline. It asks you like, okay, how many posts do you want a day? And I'm like, okay, 5 or what, like, 5 for the week or whatever. And so it's really useful. And so it just gives you little ideas, but it's something to branch off of and, something to work with, and because it's going to ask, like, what are the topics this month that you want to talk about? And so you just add your 4 pillars or details of your 4 pillars.
exactly. And so that's literally what I did. I was like, oh, I feel like I could. It was kind of like I was just kind of like, let's just see how this could work. And I'm trying to find it really quick. I don't think I put it on the launch. Oh, okay, so the first thing I want to offer is that if you have a Facebook group, um, I realized that there wasn't as much interaction in my Facebook group as I wanted. And I also realized that a lot of the free coaching calls that I was doing when I was thinking about my people, a lot of them were like, essentially like, oh, we already get everything that we need from your free Facebook group. I got a lot of feedback this week that I'm going to be sharing with you about like how to change it. But I got a lot of feedback that like, hey, you give away way too much for free. So I was like, that's good feedback. They were like, why would anybody work with you if you're telling them everything they need? I was like,
Yeah, sure.
great point. So I have actually stopped doing free coaching in the Facebook group. Again, if you're still doing that, awesome. Again, it's like just additional value and you can use it for reels in the future. However, I'll show you like, I was like, okay, if I don't want to be giving out all this information for free, what could I do that could give a lot of value? And so I'm doing like 5 wins of the week on Friday, or wins of the week on Friday. And then I'm doing what's happening on Wednesdays. And I just asked Chat GPT, I was like, hey, like what? And I think the question that I asked, which I can for sure, I was like, can you give me, I was like, can you give me multiple choice poll ideas to learn more about solopreneurs? And it was like, okay, so I was like, which social media platform has been the most effective to learn about your business? And it was like Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And like I literally just like took this and I posted it. I took these questions, like,
That's fabulous.
what is that?
That's fabulous.
Right. And I was like, oh, here are the multiple choice questions. Makes it super easy. And so every Friday or every Wednesday from the next couple weeks going forward, instead of coaching, I'm just gonna do this, like post one of these. It's like, what do you need the most improvement in with these kind of things? The other thing that I did this week is I was at the mastermind and they had this list of all these questions that and if you already have the if your Chat GPT knows you already, it was like, what problem are they Googling and what are they trying to solve? And so it gave me 10 things that I was like, solopreneurs, what are they looking for? What are they Googling? And it was like time management. I'm like, perfect. That's a pillar. Marketing strategies, financial management, client acquisition, productivity, motivation, value and pricing, tech and tools, legal and tax, scaling and growth, and networking and collaboration. I was like, oh,
That's
I
a great
touched
question.
what?
This is a great question.
Isn't it so? It's like, what are they Googling? What is my ideal person Googling? And I'm like, boom, this is what they're Googling. And I feel like I hit on a lot of these, but I don't hit on a lot of these. Like all of these, I'm like, ooh, I could totally do a post about pricing and be like, okay, what is if you don't know if you have a lot of different pricing, here's why I would offer to do one price. I think that it makes it simple sells. And if you give people too many options, they won't buy from you. Or if I'm like, okay, if you have 3 different prices, how can you narrow it down? What's the value of what you're offering? If you were to offer just your favorite thing, what would you charge for that? It's like, boom, done. And then if I'm talking about like tools, I might do one about this and be like, okay, what, like Chat GPT, this is a great thing to use for legal and tax issues. Being like, I just did this financial training in my Facebook group, and I'm like, if you don't know how to do your taxes, I would recommend trying to figure that out now rather than a $26,000 mistake later. And then it was like, what exacerbates them about this problem the most? So I was like, okay, so it's frustrating for solopreneurs. It's like they've got limited time. Juggling multiple responsibilities, that's the thing that I realize systems helps the most with. And that's why I think this is so helpful to do this marketing. It's like, okay, so if none of us came into having a business, at least at this point. I haven't had any social media managers like come on, but like none of us planned on being like marketers. We came into this because we are like amazing coaches, amazing personal stylists, amazing like realtors. We didn't come into it wanting to be a marketer, but as a solopreneur, you have to do it all. And so it's like, okay, so like that's what I'm going to talk a lot about in my coming marketing. Fun fact. The work-life balance. That's huge. And I used to talk about this as a when I did what's it called? Career coaching. So I'm like, I can pull from some of those old posts, wearing multiple hats, coming back into that lack of prioritizing, uncertain outcome. So these are the kind of, it's like, okay, what makes your ideal client so upset about their program, this problem? And I was like, what is the hardest thing for passionate solopreneurs? What is the core source? So it's like asking, and then these gave me so many ideas, guys. Like it's like just kind of like an idea generator where I'm like, oh, this is really helpful. It's like create 5 potential statements for people to comment on the bottom of a post. I'm like, okay, that helps. It's like I was like asking about like ideas, and it was like the biggest thing I do is I analyze it for like hashtags, but I still continue. I'm like, okay, analyze it and make sure you include the same style, tone, and voice. And I make sure that it's like analyze as I'm giving it time for hashtags, it's getting to know me. And it's like, okay, create different hashtags. Like I do a lot of the hashtags. Like that's pretty much primarily what I use it for. But if having the answers to these questions is helpful for you, it's like if you feel like you have gone through and you were talking about the same shit over and over and over again, add some of these in. Like I feel like it's a great place to like kind of get started and just like asking, just getting other ideas out going for you. So that was like, and I literally just like asked it all these questions, and I just like wrote it down. Like, what are their painful thoughts? What are the most frustrating results? Like, it's like I literally just like went through and asked it all these questions, and I was like, oh, I'm like, this makes things so much easier. And so I'll create those, and I'll like I'll think of some other questions that would be helpful for you guys. And I'll include that as well to be like, okay, like if I've like, and I would say, how many how many posts do you think that Chat GPT needs to have in order to get to like be able to generate something like that? Christina, do you think it's like 3?
Yeah, I think maybe 3 to 5 would be probably good.
Yeah. So like if you just like post, and it's free right now, like
Yes.
completely free. So even if you're like, okay, I don't want to use it, asking it like and I think that like you gave like whatever that first one, it was like
Yeah, that's for that one.
it was like, okay, like, but when you were sharing your chat, it was like, okay, it's like you asked like it was like, okay, what's your ideal client? Like, what are these kind of things? It's like just answering those kind of questions can only make you clearer in your audience and only help you.
Yes. So I think that was the first one. It said like, do you here, go back up, like learning the style, tone, and voice. That's
Yeah,
what it was. I was like, what other details do you need for me to accomplish this task?
exactly.
So that's where it came up with all those 10 questions.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, okay, like it's like
It literally is just wants to know who your ICA is. So it's asking you that in a kind of question format.
it is that like it's just super quick and easy. Now, you Demetria just asked in here, like, do I go and use the check the hashtags before I use them? I actually don't, because I've got like other stuff that I would like to do. And I'm like, you know, as long as like as long it seems like reasonable, I'll like go back through and like read them a little bit, but I'm mostly like copy paste, like, let's just get this out here. I'm like, this is no big stress or big deal, like for me. Like I just want to focus on that. I had another thought and then I just totally lost it. Do you
I
have it?
definitely have the questions though. They're fabulous.
Oh, I was gonna see if anybody, the reason I took this down is I was wondering if anybody had posted in the form that I sent out to see if there were any questions. In the meantime, Demetria, do you have any questions?
No, that was my main question because I did the hashtags once, and I just kind of went to see what was under those hashtags, like kind of if I felt like they fit, if I don't know, just who was posting, who was using those hashtags. I've played with it some, not as much as Christina, and I've used it for ideas, but I think I'm one of the people that I'm hung up on and this just like in my mind, I'm like, oh, am I cheating? Like I'm hung up on that. So I will get them, but I feel like I need to change them a lot. So I'm not like plagiarizing, cheating. I don't know. It just probably
The hashtags or with the posts that you get?
post. Yeah.
I would say
Yeah,
with the
no, that's fair.
that's fair. I
And
also
that's probably just like old like school stuff, right? Like
yes, I
yeah.
that like it for me when I read the post. So I think I asked it initially. I like went back. Also, we didn't have any questions in there, so that's totally fine. But I went in and I was like, can you write an Instagram post for me? And it sounded weird. It was like, hey there,
Yeah.
fellow entrepreneurs. I was like, I would say that, but I would never write that. Like it sounded like, let's talk about those invisible barriers that hold us back from taking the leap of faith in our business journeys. And I was like, I don't know if I would say that.
Yeah.
I know. Same
Yeah.
with me. It's like I don't go, hey, curvy queens. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
you don't say that. Weird. It's like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
like I like to read it through and be like, okay, this doesn't sound like me. This sounds like me. And so it's like I would go through and just like make it you like for you when you read it. I more so use it for like content ideas. And I'll be like, okay, give me some ideas. And would you feel comfortable like sharing like what it looks like to ask it for the content calendar?
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to show this really quick about the
Yes.
originality AI. So
Mhm.
like, let's see. I had given it, I copied and pasted something um, that ChatGPT gave me, and it was like, girl, this is fake, which is like, okay, great. So I'm not going to use it.
Right.
It was 100% like, okay, we know. And I actually literally, I just copied and pasted it as like a trial to see
Right.
like like I guess it was like my control, like
Gotcha.
the control
Yeah.
thing. So it's like I want to see if this program is 100%,
Right.
saying
Yeah.
like if it knows what it's talking about. Like this one was 100% original, and this was just after like asking, like refining the questions from chat gpt, and like this is the like 100% copy and paste from chat gpt, but this is after I taught it to know me and like got it down really well.
Right.
So it claims it's 100% and no AI, and then the plagiarism was also 0. So I don't know what it was talking about. There's a 31% chance that this was AI. See, that's like contradictory, like how it's telling. I've never seen that, so my bad. But still, like why would it say 31% and 0?
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird, right? Anyways,
It is weird. Yeah.
like this one, like this is 100. Oh, I think maybe like the top part of it was like, yeah, girl, this isn't like, but the whole thing, maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, I like using this as well, this tool, to like for my confirmation of knowing that I'm not plagiarizing or cheating or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But really lately I've really just been using it as an idea generator.
Yeah. That's what I've done when I did it. Just
Yeah,
ideas,
and
and then I'm like, oh, okay.
when I do get prompts from it, I basically am like, thank you. It's like if you're getting the like the rough draft. So I pull it from the rough draft and then I like edit it and make it my personal final draft. So that's kind of like what you're saying. It kind of alleviates that part of like cheating. And so like if you think it's like the rough copy and you fix
That's
it.
true. Yeah. And you know, it's probably so like really when you think about it, I use Grammarly, so
Yeah.
you know, but that's just like correcting. But now they do have an AI thing in Grammarly too. Like it'll, I don't know,
Even Canva does.
like pretty it up or something that it calls it in Grammarly. So
Didn't
Yeah.
you were the one that showed me about the Canva thing too. It was
The
like,
bulk create.
yeah, I was like, do you want to show that here? I'll get that good, like ready. Do you use that ever?
Occasionally, but I'm trying to like, because it's basically a bunch of inspirational quotes, which is
Yeah.
all great, but like I want my content to be a little bit more in depth, you know? So I'll throw them in there every once in a while if I like don't have anything else that I want to make, or if I'm like running behind on posts,
Yeah.
post ideas or something, and I just need to spit something out to be consistent on there, then I'll use those, like they're my backups basically.
Yeah. And so essentially the way that you do that is here, I'll pull it, like I'll share my screen again and I'll show you something else that's like AI related that I just learned about. Well, I learned about it and I've never used it. What do? You go like here and you go or it's like
I think you go to like create a post,
where's like it's like I know what you're talking about, like it's like magic. It's
magic
like,
AI or something.
yeah, okay, Instagram post square. And then it's like this is only if you pay for it too, right?
Yeah, actually I'm not sure, but I think so, you're right. Oh, bottom right
Oh, sorry.
corner is the, well, I mean, is the little magic.
but it's in pro, right?
See that little,
Oh, see, okay.
yeah.
So it's like magic.
Magic right? Yeah.
Try it out while I am. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, so if you go magic right here, and it's like inspirational quotes for solopreneurs. Didn't spell that right. It's like it's like, and then it's like, don't you, if you go to like add a page and you find like quote,
Yeah, so you pick that and then you copy paste it, or you copy it, and then you go to like bulk create. It's I I don't know how to find it anymore, but I think it's like it's on the left bar. Um
we should have talked about this beforehand. I'm sorry.
yeah.
It was like, we got this. Everyone knows it's the work in process.
Yeah, there's a bulk create somewhere in there. I don't know if it's
Our-
for the projects, but you get the bulk create and it makes 10 posts
yeah, it's like very
with
fun.
that information.
Yes. Edit with magic, right? Maybe it's like you have
Oh,
to.
can you say search it right there? It says search anything.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Place current page. And then
Go to your, yeah, no, go to your three dots. Where are you?
my three dots. I will
Go to
find
your-
this. This is in a thing that you sent me.
Yeah, well, we'll do a little part two.
We'll do like a mini part two. Wait, I wonder if it's like, oh, whatever. But there's a way that you can fact. And I just saw another person did the exact same reel. And I was like, oh, they were like, write 20 posts in 2 seconds. And it was like, oh, great. So I'll find that and I'll send that to you guys. Sorry. I was like, I should have had that planned a little better. But
You were gonna ask Demetria if she was comfortable with something, and I interrupted y'all rudely. Sorry.
oh, I was asking you if you felt comfortable sharing the bulk create thing, but I was if you'd used it in a while. Or no, I was asking if you felt comfortable sharing what's it called? Your calendar. What it looks like to ask.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I'll show you this other AI thing and also
Okay.
figure out how to do bulk create. I think I sent it to you because I was like,
Yeah. Let's see. I asked it to create a 12-week program for me. So
Look at
that
you.
was, yeah, because I'm like, maybe I need, I just kind of wanted to spice things up a little bit in my program. So I asked it to. Um, Content, I just say, let's see. Let's work together, that whole thing, that whole prompt.
Uh-huh.
Asking details. So it asked me like how many posts do you want? Are there specific themes? Do you have any, special events or promotions? What hashtags do you have to have? Whatever. So it asked me the 5 things. I answer it. And then it's like, thank you. Based on your input, here is your content calendar for August. And it just gives me 3 posts a day. And again, and like you can just look at this and be like, okay, I'm gonna make this a reel instead. Or and you can ask it more questions. Like you can like copy this and then ask it like write a script for a reel. And then again, like you don't want to, like you can use that as a rough draft to put it in your own words. So yeah, like it's just fabulous. So this is my 3 posts a week content for August.
Isn't that insane? I'm like, I love that. Or like you can even be like, write 3 post titles for like how we do like pillars. You could be like, what would be top like the top 3 things that like for me, solopreneurs want to know about planning. It's like give me like 3 Instagram ideas. Or you could be like, okay, what are 3 things that women are trying to like curate for their life? Where are they trying to create in their life? Like that could be like, or like you go with like, it's like, what are the top 3 things women are Googling about confidence? And just being like, okay, what are like, where are they having issues with confidence? It's like, when is, and then you can get, I think, a little bit easier to like a problem that happens at like 2 p.m. instead of being like trying to guess what their problem is. And
Right. Yeah. So like what I've been doing, this is my other favorite thing that I put all the time, create a few subject lines and preview tests for the email. So I copy and paste my email and I ask that question and it comes up with the preview text and the subject lines. It's just easier just instead of, just a little bit more creative than what I would say.
and it's like, it just like gives you like a starting place to be like, oh
Yes.
gosh, I like totally get that now. It makes it so much easier. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I asked it to make like a quiz. Can you like a dating quiz? It's
Yes.
somewhere. But yeah, it's like I did a webinar, well, a coaching thing on sparks in a relationship. And I asked it, can you come up with let's see, can you create a quiz for a dating coach to give to her female clients to help them figure out if there could be a spark in their current interest or not? And it's like, sure, here it is. And it's like one of those like cosmopolitan, ones from like from the magazines.
I
And
love
so it's like if you have mostly A's, congratulations, you have a spark. If you have mostly B's, like, yeah, keep it going. Isn't that funny?
yeah.
So funny.
I wait, could you go back to your prompt for that?
Yeah, of course.
I was like, that's a great idea. Just like a fun
Yeah,
freebie.
right, exactly.
What a freaking easy freebie. Like
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yep. It's a 1-pager. Just make it look pretty on a piece of paper.
Done. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like so quick. And you could even make that a Google form. And you could collect all their information. You'd be like, oh, okay, I'm getting like mostly C's. And then like you can also talk to that person, whoever fills it out, and be like, hey, like, let me know if you need some help with that. Like,
Right. And so with this particular client that I gave that to, I just as I was giving it to her, I was like, you know what? This would be really interesting to do like after a date, and then do like it at like the first day, then like a month, and then like 2 months and see if it changes. Because sometimes you want to give people a little bit of a chance, and sometimes you think it's like love at first sight. So And sometimes we think it's love at first sight and then it's not so much. So I thought that would be kind of cool to like check in with yourself.
and like see a little bit more. Like I think that's a great idea. Like and just like get like curious about like, okay, what are other people doing? I don't know why I've got like a rash here. But like get curious about like what other people are doing and be like, okay, like that would be fun. Or like what kind of things like intrigue you? Use that and be like, okay, like how can I make this if you're like, how can I make this for my people? How can I figure this out? Like this is a
Yeah.
great, just like a great easy
Cool.
tool. And I've not figured out how to do bulk create. However, I will attempt to figure that out at a later
Oh my
time.
God.
We will find that reel and we will send it to you guys because it's like so quick and easy. But there's another AI they wanted to show you guys really quick. It's called video and it's VIDYO, and I'll include this in Christina's training. AI. This is what Amber was telling us about. I
Okay.
don't know if you saw her doing this, but you probably have seen a lot of like, I don't know how in other industries how prevalent this is, but at least I've seen a ton of coaches like Corinne Crabtree, Charlotte Smith, who's like one of my best friends. She's had all these videos, and I'm like, where did you get like all these ideas for these videos? And she literally took her posts, or not her post, her coaching calls and into like these quick like little videos, and it makes it like
I essentially just
want
want to help save you guys time because I worked so much.
like it was like I don't know what
I worked 1,800 hours doing
like it was
not the
like
most efficient.
maximizing launch cycles. This might be a good one, but it says it's like if this is all free, and sadly you can only include it was like you have to like make it like under an hour for the free version, and it's like you have to pay more for it, but like it gives every single like it just cut like really important pieces. It just listened to what I was saying in this coaching call.
And you said you got 90-ish people on your list right now.
I was like just
And we
like
could
the
get-
pieces where she was like talking, and it was like the other one I liked better. I liked it when it showed our faces,
And
but like that's what Amber's been doing. She's just like having
Oh,
take parts of
oh,
her
sorry. Go ahead.
that's it. And I'm like, it takes parts of her coaching calls and she like it cuts it and makes it a reel for her.
So it does it for her because
For her.
that is the whole reason I don't do this, because I don't want to do it. I don't want to go through my stuff and edit it and cut and paste.
What was the important part? And
Changing my life.
when it took it. And I think it's like $30 a person, or at $30 if you want to pay for it and it does unlimited. But I'm like, I would pay $30 for this. Like personally, I'm like, because I feel like I want people to see more of me coaching. Like, because I think it's important. Like,
but like I have a list of all the people I did a consult with. It was like just long.
yeah. So like I'm like, okay, these are all the people I did a consult with, and like just check out the power of word of mouth. Like, and it gives you the title. It gives you the title already, and it does it all for you.
This is changing my life.
Isn't that awesome? I was like, I think it's like just really helpful to just like not have to do all this work on your own. Like, especially because like pretty much everyone that I work with, you guys are all solopreneurs. You are the editor, the social media manager. Like you guys are doing all of this. And it's like if I can just make your life easier so you can just help more people, that's why we're doing this. Like, because I think I'm like, if you get ideas, like a lot of times, like it's like almost like we're like, oh my God, like what am I gonna say to these people? And I'm like, Chat GPT is like GPT, a lot of BT. I feel like just so helpful in this video AI. And I like it already cuts it for you. Like, why would you not? Like worth a shot, you know?
Sure. That's awesome.
So we'll find out how to do the bulk create thing. It's like pretty much only for quotes and stuff, but like the fact that I could pull up quotes from Canva is even using AI. I think it's going to be quickly like something that's utilized for most businesses. And if it can just make your life easier, like why not? You know?
Yeah. Exactly, for sure.
Any other questions? Are we feeling good?
No, this is awesome. Like, I love the questions that you had, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'll definitely like make sure I make that document. I will link your document, which is awesome. It'll be under the trainings, like the bonuses, and I'll be like Chat GPT training. It's gonna be awesome. But I think I really do. I feel like this is like gonna be really helpful for everybody. And even if they're not using it yet, I like really want them to I like just give it a try. And I'll give you some prompts and stuff for it to ask, and just like include your last 3 posts, get it to understand your voice tone and style. And then might as well ask it some helpful questions like, what are my clients Googling? What is their biggest problem? What is this? You know, like just for some ideas. So that is it. But yeah, go ahead.
Nothing. I just said this is awesome.
I'm so glad. Would you guys be okay if I got a quick pic of all of us and then we'll rally? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All right. Well, Christina, thank you so much for coming. I'm so grateful for you. I'll be messaging you and just like thank you for this. Demetria, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. And back in the finally after like 2 weeks off. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. So I love you guys so much. Thank you. We finished 4 minutes early too. I'm like, crush it. And I will see you guys soon. Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
Of course. Bye.